and get them better attached there if they have to.
Question number 12, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister responsible for Novopay. Is he confident that teachers will now be receiving the correct pay in future pay rounds? If not, why not?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, no, not in the case of all teachers. Can I suggest the member read some of the 10 media releases I've put out which explain over the last 8 weeks some of the issues with Novopay, which are very complex, that there will be no quick fix to it, and the government is working quickly on a range of fronts to address those issues. For the members' benefit today, I'll release the technical review into the school payroll system. It makes a number of conclusions: that the core software platforms are not currently stable, that the system can be made stable with greater effort and capability of both the Ministry and Talent 2, and that inadequate quality assurance processes have contributed to the issues experienced. The report lays out a number of key milestones which the remediation plan currently underway is targeted to meet. That's dropping the number of complaints and notifications from 2.2% in the pay to less than 1%, and we're making good progress in that respect. There's also a backlog clearing unit which has been set up and is gearing up now with the goal of reducing the backlog workload to business as usual levels by the end of June.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Mr Speaker, can he give an assurance that no teacher who has been overpaid in one pay cycle and then underpaid in a subsequent pay cycle will be pursued for repayments before they have received all of the money they were due in the first place? If not, why not?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, in terms of overpayments and underpayments, the member will be aware that in relation to the Novopay system, we have stopped any debt collection processes in regard to that. The debt collection that's going on now is the 200 or so that were outstanding from the previous system, and the whole purpose of the backlog clearance unit is to do exactly what the member talks about, which is to progressively clear through those issues and to ensure that they are put right for each staff member who is affected.
Point of order, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, I asked about people being pursued for repayments. I wasn't asking about debt collection. I was asking about whether they were being pursued for repayments, which is a slightly different take. So I wonder if the Minister could address that.
Order. The member has further supplementary. I think the Minister very adequately addressed your question. You have further supplementary.
Well, supplementary question then, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, is the Minister indicating in his answer that somebody who has experienced a series of pay problems will not be pursued for overpayments, not necessarily by debt collectors, they just won't be pursued for overpayments until it's known exactly what the outcome of that is going to be?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, what is happening is that these issues are progressively getting solved. I can't give the member a particular assurance on a particular method around a particular issue, but what I can say is that the member, if he has anybody in that category, or if anybody is in that category, then they should contact the Ministry and their issues will be addressed.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Did he ask how Talent 2 was intending to recover overpayments when he was put in charge of Novopay? If not, why not?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, I asked a whole range of questions, not that particular one, but could I point out to the member in relation to that the system for recovering payments is exactly the same system that has been in place for many years, with the same subcontractor and with the same process as has applied the entire time, and in fact the same people doing it. So there has been no change in that process for the last many years.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Given the massive backlog of problems with Novopay that were already evident when he became the Minister responsible for it, why did he not think to ask what process was in place for recovering the overpayments and instruct Talent 2 that sending debt collectors on to people who were still not being paid correctly perhaps wasn't such a good idea?
Well, Mr Speaker, I'd say one of the things that wasn't a good idea was where we started in this whole place in the first place, in terms of setting the contract up, because one of the issues raised by the technical
Mr.
review...
Speaker,
point of order.
I didn't ask...
Order. The Minister's attempting to answer your question.
Well, no, he's not. No, I didn't ask him anything about the contract in the first place.
Order. If we have a chance to listen to the answer, but if you're going to interrupt the answer, we're not going to know whether the Minister has addressed it. Honourable Stephen Joyce.
The point I was making, Mr Speaker, is that I inherited a situation which has created a whole range of issues which goes back very many years, including back to when that member was a ministerial advisor recommending in favour of the Novopay deal in Trevor Mallard's office. And the point is, Mr Speaker, in the 8 weeks that I've had the role, I've chased down a whole range of things.
Order. Order. If the member continues with that, I'll have to ask him to leave the House. It's right. Order. It is completely unparliamentary to call anyone a liar in this House. The member will stand and withdraw those comments, please.
I withdraw.
Thank you. Supplementary question. Point of order.
The Minister hadn't finished his answer. He hasn't actually addressed the question that I asked him in the first place.
I'm going to ask the member to ask the question again because I think he's got a fair
I don't think I can actually remember completely, Mr Speaker.
I can help you.
What the question was. Maybe the Minister could just address it.
No, if the member wants to repeat his question, I've given him the opportunity. Okay. Has the member got further supplementaries?
Further supplementaries.
A further
Mr.
supplementary.
Speaker. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Order. Further supplementary, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Why didn't he give Talent to a clear instruction not to use debt collectors before last week?
Mr Speaker,
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
in fact I didn't have to, because as soon as the matter came to light while I was still on a plane, the Secretary of Education made his own decision that that actually would not proceed. And the fact of the matter is that at that point I think 7 people had been approached by debt collectors in relation to the Talent 2 system, and there were currently 200 people being approached by the previous system. And the point, Mr Speaker, is that the Secretary acted as soon as it was brought to his attention.
Point of order. Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I just noticed today that the sound system's been very quiet. It's been quite hard to hear the questioners, and I wonder if you could ask the technicians to have a look at it.
We'll certainly do so. There have been some problems with the sound system. I was informed that it was operating, but we will certainly have a look at it. I thank the Prime Minister for that. That concludes questions for oral answer. I call on Government Order of the Day number 1.
2011-12 Financial Review Bill, Committee Stage.
I declare the House and Committee for further consideration